It's no doubt that the Black Lives Matter movement took over all of social media at one point in time, bringing together many people to fight against one cause. But with all the attention the Black Lives Matter movement brought, has this movement been truly effective in tackling this ongoing issue of racism in America? Before tackling the issues with the Black Lives Matter movement, it's important to understand where the movement came from. The Black Lives Matter movement first started with the murder of a 17-year-old black boy named Trayvon Martin by Neighborhood Watch volunteer George Zimmerman on February 26, 2012, while walking home from a 7-Eleven. On July 13, 2013, Zimmerman was judged not guilty for the murder, and this case sparked the interest of three black women, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, who started the project Black Lives Matter. The first wave of the Black Lives Matter movement on social media was with Twitter, starting from 2013 to 2016. However, the movement didn't spread far beyond the Twitter platform. The second wave of the Black Lives Matter movement happened on Instagram in 2020 with the case of George Floyd. Hashtags such as hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag BLM, and hashtag Justice for George Floyd scoured the internet, and media attention was also focused on this movement. The issues that the Black Lives Matter movement brings to light are the key issues brought up by the critical race theory. The issues with racism that were thought to be of the past for many people actually are continuing to this day, just in different forms. It's true that many forms of overt racism aren't as prevalent nowadays, but there is underlying racism that is hidden in the structure of our society that prevents the end of racism. Unknowingly, there are many aspects of our society that are built off of underlying racism, not because individuals intend to be racist, but because society is built in a way that is biased towards certain races. Because many people don't notice this issue and are comfortable with the current state of society, there is no strong will to act upon the change that is needed to counter this sort of structural racism. The key motives of the Black Lives Matter movement is to fight against inequality presented towards black people via brutality and injustice in court. In light of the critical race theory, the movement aims to do two things: spread awareness about such structural issues to those who haven't experienced such racism, and bring together those who have fallen victim to this structure of society. The prior is because it's difficult for those who have never experienced such structural racism to understand that there is an issue with the system of society unless stories are told and awareness is spread. Sharing these stories will help people understand and realize that there is injustice that we need to fight for the sake of our fellow friends, family, and loved ones that we might not have known they were experiencing. The latter is because the Black Lives Matter movement helps comfort those who have experienced such injustice and tell them that they're not alone, that people are willing to hear their stories, and that there are people out there that wish to fight for their cause. The purpose of the Black Lives Matter movement is great, but there are two very large underlying issues with hashtag BLM posts that prevent it from initiating actual action needed to fight against structural racism: lighthearted nature of social media, and social media posts being just for show. An example of the lighthearted nature of social media would be with this particular post. This particular post consists of a four-cut cartoon that predominantly uses pathos to appeal to the audience, critiquing the Black Lives Matter movement by voicing out how social media is merely providing surface-level attention to the true problem of structural racism America harvests. This post doesn't exhibit any apparent logos or ethos, but the fact that almost all top posts by the hashtag BLM hashtag is some format of comedy with a lack of an apparent logos or ethos shows how the nature of Instagram gathers people towards more lighthearted, comedic posts. This is why the Black Lives Matter movement merely acts as a band-aid solution that covers up the blood but doesn't aim to figure out exactly what we can do to stop the bleeding. Not enough people are taking the post seriously enough to promote actual change that is needed to stop such structural racism. The issue with social media posts being just for show is shown in this post. This post aims to attack those who make it important to show that they support the Black Lives Matter movement rather than actually supporting it. Some posts blatantly use hashtags such as hashtag BLM or hashtag Black Lives Matter to their advantage to gain more attention, while other posts pretend to be a strong fighter of the Black Lives Matter movement when in reality the poster couldn't care less. For these people, it's more important to show that they support the movement than actually supporting the movement. This doesn't mean that there aren't any posts that genuinely wish to spread awareness to the Black Lives Matter movement. However, the portion of these sort of genuine posts are extremely low, and this especially shows during the present day when the Black Lives Matter movement wave has mostly passed by. Although the Black Lives Matter movement itself has a good cause and has successfully brought together people from many different backgrounds towards one single cause, it simply hasn't done enough to initiate actual realistic change that was needed to fight against the structural racism pointed out by the critical race theory. This is partly due to the nature of social media, especially due to Instagram being the main platform where the Black Lives Matter movement spread, because social media posts tend to be lighthearted and many posts are done just for show.